Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Shri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking care of the animal science, that is the zoology part. So, my dear students, in the previous lectures, we have completed in reproductive health regarding the different types of birth methods. We have looked into that why reproductive health is necessary, why control of population is necessary to make a nation a developed nation, and that is why we are on to the different types of birth control methods. Birth control methods, they are not only necessary for controlling the population, they are also having a very impactful movement on the life and the health of the baby as well as the pregnant mother. So that is why we need to know that what are the different methods to control birth and why they are necessary, right? So my dear students, we will start with the permanent methods at natural methods and the temporary methods or the hormonal methods of birth control already been introduced to you in the previous lectures. Those who haven't gone through the lectures previously, please see all the lectures, see all the video lectures so that you could have a better connect for the upcoming videos. So starting with the permanent methods. Permanent methods are also known as termination or they also include the surgical interventions. Okay. So the permanent method of birth control, they are known as what? The terminal methods or the termination. The very first method we are going to look into is the sterilization. Sterilization simply means to make person sterile. The sterilization is a procedure which renders the individual incapable of further reproduction. How we are making a person incapable of further reproduction? By surgical intervention, means by performing the minor surgeries. In case of males, it is known as what? Vasectomy, and in case of females, it is known as what? Tubectomy or tubal ligation, right? The sterilization procedure in males is called vasectomy. Vasectomy is removal of vas deferens. Both the vas differentia, they have been cut or they have been rolled over like this, and there is a knot created over here, right? Mean the vas deferens, they have been cut, they have been given a minor cut and they have been rolled over each other, right? So the vasectomy is basically making a small cut in both the vasa deferens and then tied a knot. In medical language, this knot is known as what? Ligation. Ligation. In this small portion of each ductus deferens or the vas deferens is removed, the sperm produced then degenerate because sperm cannot move or it cannot be further ejaculated. Okay. The sperm produced by testes will be removed by body by the process of phagocytosis. Remaining sperms will increase the level of acid phosphatases, which will help to dissolve them. Okay. Testosterone levels in the blood, they will remain as such. No variations in the testosterone levels, or the variations will be temporary. So vasectomy has no effect on sexual desire, means sexual urge, there is no effect on sexual urge and performance of the male. Okay. So the sexual intercourse can be kept moving, but the ejaculation of the sperm will not be there. Okay. Hence there are no chances or less chances of the female to get conception. The procedure can be reversed if needed, but the chances of regaining fertility is only 30 to 40%. Okay. The percent by which a person, if he recalls for, straightening of the vas deferens or religation, mean removal of the ligated part, then the chances will be only 30 to 40%. Now next, sterilization in females is mostly done by the procedure known as tubal ligation. Tubal ligation also known as tubectomy. In tubal ligation, a small portion of the fallopian tube is being cut and then ligated. This can be achieved by different ways, either clips, okay, or clamps. Clips or clamps are just like the clips, paper clips, which are having claws, okay, and they are basically attached with a, maybe attached with a spring like titanium metal or any other spring, okay, rubber clamp. So these clips and clamps, they basically help to make the steady position of the cut part, okay, the part which is removed or the part which is tied, okay, so that should not be displaced, okay. So it can be placed on the uterine tubes, means the fallopian tubes, the tubes then tied or cut, and sometimes the tubes are cauterized. Cauterized means permanent removal, cauterization. Permanent removal. Understood? In any case, the secondary oocyte cannot pass through the uterine tubes, okay, and it will not mate the sperm, and hence there will be no fertilization. So these are the methods of terminalization or termination, that is the permanent method to control birth. They basically are surgical processes. In case of males, it is known as what, vasectomy, and in case of females, it is known as what, tubal ligation or tubectomy. Okay. Now moving to the next slide. I hope this slide has been very clear to you all. Now moving to the next slide. What is medical termination of pregnancy? I hope, yeah, we haven't actually missed. I was like, medical termination of pregnancy. What is MTP or medical termination of pregnancy? Medical termination of pregnancy, it is basically defined as the definition of MTP or medical termination of pregnancy or abortion is the termination of pregnancy before the fetus is viable. Mean before the fetus is viable, okay, the pregnancy is terminated. Government of India legalized abortion or MTP in 1971. Government of India legalized abortion or medical termination of pregnancy in 1971. Period. MTP is generally considered safe up to 12 weeks. Okay, means first trimester, 3 months of pregnancy. It becomes more risky after the first trimester period of pregnancy, as the fetus becomes intimately associated with the maternal tissues with the help of hemochorial villi. Placenta. Okay. So MTP is generally considered to be safe within 12 weeks, means the first trimester of pregnancy. it becomes more risky after the first trimester. Risk basically is concerning about the maternal health. Fetus is to be aborted anyhow. Okay, we are not going to, or we are not basically liking to save the life of the fetus in case of MTP. But the fact is, the females, they will come up with huge amount of blood loss, huge amount of injury, and that too, it will take a lot of time to heal. That is why it is considered 12 weeks if a mother wants her baby to be aborted. So 12 weeks means the first trimester is considered to be the safest period, right? Status or incidence, around 45 to 50 million MTPs are done in a year. 40 to 50 million MTPs are done in a year all over the world, which is about 1/5 of the total number of pregnancies occur in a year. Okay, mean the number of pregnancies in a year, 1/5 of them are aborted. Okay, types of MTP: spontaneous MTP and therapeutic MTP. Spontaneous MTP is 1/3 of the total pregnancies abort spontaneously within 4 weeks of conception. Okay, in most cases the woman doesn't realize that she has been pregnant. Okay, and the abortion passes unrecognized as menses. Okay, so spontaneous MTP is 1/3 of the total pregnancies abort spontaneously within 4 weeks. Okay, the moment she got to know that she is pregnant within 4 weeks. Okay, in most of the cases the woman does not realize that she has been pregnant and the abortion passes unrecognized menses. Mean whatever the part of the fetus is there, that part basically is released out in the form of menses. Okay, blood. Therapeutic MTP, as the pregnancy can be legally terminated in its early stage, means 12 weeks, first trimester, 3 months. If the doctor advises that it is continuation would seriously affect the health of the mother. Okay, mean if the continuation of the baby, suppose the position of the fetus, or suppose we can say the cardiac activity of the fetus, or the fetus is having some syndrome, or it is leading to any harmful effect through placenta to the mother. So in these cases the doctor advised the mother to abort or to go for abortion. Okay, at present the law allows termination up till the 28th week of pregnancy if the family physician and the gynecologist consider there is a need of abortion. Okay, so spontaneous MTP and therapeutic MTP. Spontaneous MTP is when the moment a lady, she got to know that she is pregnant. Okay, and she wants or she doesn't wants to carry the baby, then she can go for this spontaneous MTP, but it should be spontaneously, means in between the 4 weeks after conception. The moment she get conceived, okay, mean the last menstrual cycle is done. Okay, from that last menstrual cycle till the time of 4 weeks. Okay, in most of the cases means it is about 1.5 month. Okay, in most of the cases the woman does not realize that she has been pregnant. Okay, and the abortion passes through menses. Whatever the fetus is formed, it is passes through the bloody bath. Therapeutic MTP, a pregnancy can be legally terminated in its early stage if the doctor advises that it is continuation would seriously affect the health of the mother. Okay, because of any reasons. I have just explained the reason. Okay, maybe it is medical reason, maybe it is health reason. I mean the mother is being very ill, she is ill. Okay, and carrying a baby can potentially put her on a risk, and that is why she need to abort that baby anyhow. So these cases, the physician or the gynecologist, concerned gynecologist and the physician, they will allow them to get the baby aborted, and that is till the 28th week of pregnancy it can be done. Okay, now coming to the next slide, so this medical termination of pregnancy is clear to everyone. Now, need or reasons for MTP. What are the different reasons why the mothers or why the families, they are basically prompting 40 to 50 millions of MTPs in a year, 1/5 of the total pregnant ladies. Okay, so why it is happening? What are the reasons? Physical reasons. In case of women does not use contraceptives, okay, during sexual intercourse, she was not willing to have baby, but because of unhappening or mishappening, because of by chance she got conceived. Okay, so this can be a case that physically she doesn't want to be pregnant. Okay, she is not using contraceptives during sexual intercourse and accidentally she got pregnant without having any intention to do so, or failure of use of contraceptives. If she is on contraceptives, so might be it is a failure of contraceptive, and if she is not taking contraceptive, so might be her pregnancy is against her intimate will. Okay. Now, psychological, a woman is mentally unprepared. If she is unprepared for the pregnancy, okay, she doesn't want to take the pain of taking care of her baby, okay, or the family, or the support, the economical support, the psychological support. She feels like that she is not ready for having a baby at that particular moment. So that's why she can go for MTP. Medical reasons, the pregnancy is harmful or in some cases to the mother of the child. Maybe the mother is not physically and mentally fit enough for the childbirth. Okay, maybe the mother is suffering from some kind of bipolar disorders, some neurological diseases, or some kind of blood related disorders. Okay, so these cases can make a medical outfit that mother, she cannot have baby or she should go for abortion. Okay, MTP. And an impending pregnancy can kill either of the two, either fetus or baby. Mean if the continuation of the fetus will be there or continuation of the pregnancy will be there, then it can be harmful in both of the cases. Second case is when fetus is detected with severe congenital defects, okay, like CHD, congenital heart diseases, atrial septal defect, mean the atria is having, or the septum mean the atrial walls, they are having some defect, atrial septal defect. Okay, or it can be any of the reasons. Okay, so these congenital defects, chromosomal abnormalities like Down syndrome, okay, or any other syndrome, in such cases mother has the right decision to go for abortion, to go for MTP, and it is mostly prescribed by the consulting physician and the gynecologist. Okay, so the physical reasons, the psychological reasons, and the medical reasons. Psychosocial, sometimes the pregnancy arises from the sexual assault. Maybe pregnancy can be a result of sexual assault or a sexual crime or a rape. The woman can decide to abort the pregnancy if she did not intend to have it. Okay, and if it could have some psychological as well as social repercussions on her. Her family is imposing some pressure, okay, or her society is basically imposing some repercussions, or she got to know that if she intended to carry the baby, she might suffer from some kind of social repercussions. That's why she want to go for MTP. Okay, significance, MTP helps in getting rid of unwanted pregnancies, most important, and such pregnancies which may be harmful. It can be lethal or even fatal, lethal, either to the mother or to the fetus or both. MTP plays a significant role in decreasing human population. Yeah, MTP is having a significant role in decreasing human population. Okay, so these are some common reasons enlisted that why a person is going for MTP, whether it is physical, psychological, psychosocial, medical. Okay, what are the drawbacks? Misuse. MTP is being misused to abort even the normal fetal female fetuses. Mean the mother or the lady, okay, might be she is a transformed girl of a lower age, around 24 or 25 years, and she got to know that she is pregnant. So now she is not mentally prepared and she will abort the fetus because of any of the reasons above given. Okay, so it can be misused again and again by a mother or by a girl that she she don't want to get pregnant. Majority of MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified persons and has resulted in severe fatalities. Okay, the case can be fatal, it can be lethal. Fatal or lethal means leading to death. MTBs generally raise many emotional, ethical, religious as well as social issues. The drawbacks of MTP is this medical termination of pregnancy can impose many questions from the side of society, from the side of your or anyone's co-partner, okay, or it can be religious influence, it can be any emotional connection as well. So all these issues can basically, they frame MTP as it is a wrong thing, but exactly MTP, if it is conveyed in a right way, okay, and for a right reason, then it is the best method to control the unwanted pregnancies, okay. So why not we should leave the decision to the lady which is going to opt for MTP, and that is why maximum of the mothers, they are basically forced to go for MTP without their own consent. So that is basically illegal, okay, and that is why it is given illegally to be performed by unqualified persons, okay. Now coming to next, sexually transmitted diseases, most important part of this chapter, reproductive health, that why we are actually going all these phases, why we are going through, you know, reproductive problems or the problems related to reproductive system, okay. What can be the possible diseases, and these diseases which are actually transmitted through unsafe sexual measure, okay, or the sexual attempt with multiple sex partners. So these sexually transmitted diseases, they basically influence or they basically, you know, have an impact on the reproductive parts, whether it is external genitalia or the reproductive system, okay. Diseases or infections which are transmitted through sexual intercourse, with infected persons are collectively called STDs or sexually transmitted diseases. They are also known as venereal diseases, okay, or reproductive tract diseases. They are also known as venereal diseases or reproductive tract diseases. STDs, they are usually caused by following agents: bacteria, viruses, chlamydia, protozoa, nematoda, ectoparasites, fungal infections. These are the possible pathogens which are basically related to STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, right? Sexually transmitted diseases are transmitted by various mode of transmission. Sexual intercourse with the infected person, knowingly or unknowingly, okay. Although knowingly word actually doesn't exist, but it can be, okay. So sexual intercourse with infected persons, sharing of infected needles and surgical instruments, okay. So sharing of infected needles and surgical instruments, they are also the possible or the potent mode of transmission, okay. Transfusion of blood from an infected mother to the fetus. This is known as what? Vertical transmission. From mother to fetus. Vertical transmission. Mother to fetus. Okay. So these are the possible modes of transmission, okay. What is the cure? All STDs are completely curable if detected at early stage and treated properly by taking medications, with the exception of HIV. HIV is uncurable. It is preventable, but it is not curable. Preventable. Hepatitis B and genital herpes or warts, they don't have a pure or proved, you know, cure, okay. So HIV, hepatitis B, genital herpes or warts, okay, they actually come up with many complications, and that is why they don't have any sure shot cure till now. Consequences of delayed treatment: ignorance. STDs may lead to many complications if proper and timely treatment is not given. The main complications include pelvic inflammatory diseases, okay. Pelvic inflammatory diseases, basically it affects the lower abdominal region, lower abdominal region. That too, it basically affects the kidney, spleen. Okay, so kidney, spleen, or many other organs, they can be involved in these STDs and can lead to multiple organ dysfunction, MOD, multiple organ dysfunction. Okay, so these STDs are actually a point of very serious issue. Okay, then that is why they need to be taken care of immediately and concisely. If not, then they can lead to many complications, whether it is inflammation of kidney or infections of kidney or renal failure, or it is splenomegaly, means enlargement of spleen. Okay, or it can be a multiple organ dysfunction. Okay, other than that, pelvic inflammatory diseases, they may lead to abortions. Okay, stillbirth, ectopic pregnancies, infertility, and cancer of the reproductive tract. Okay, they may lead to abortions, stillbirth, ectopic pregnancies. Ectopic pregnancies means if the implantation happens at a site which is not actually suited for the implantation of the blastula. Okay, the ectopic pregnancies. Stillbirth mean the delivered baby is dead, stillbirth. Abortions, infertility, it may lead to infertility if it involves or if it gets complicated and involving the reproductive tract system, and may lead to cancer as well. Okay, so these are the possible complications of sexually transmitted diseases if they are not being dealt properly. Okay, now coming to different types of sexually transmitted diseases, we actually have to talk about. Before coming to the different types of sexually transmitted diseases, there are some common symptoms in which are basically we are going to study in all types of diseases. Okay, then we will come to the prevention and detection. That is the most important part, the detection part. Okay, so any STD, it comes up with very common symptom like itching in reproductive areas, fluid discharge, mean it can be pus or it can be any type of fluid, swelling of lymph nodes, okay, and because of inflammation it can be painful as well. So these are some common symptoms. Now we are going to talk about the prevention and detection. Prevention is comparatively simple than cure, as we all know. Prevention is better than cure. Simple principles should be followed as such as avoid sex with unknown partners or multiple partners, most important. Right? One should always use the physical barriers such as condoms during sexual intercourse. If a person is in doubt, he or she must consult a qualified doctor. During the time of sexual intercourse, if there is a breach in physical barrier, okay, then, and if they are having any doubt, then they should consult a qualified doctor. Or if they are appearing with the symptoms of STD, then also they should immediately go to a qualified doctor. Then if STDs are detected once, it should be completely treated, okay, with the full course treatment of antibiotics, okay, so that the person can come to the original grounds again. Okay, so these are the prevention techniques in which it's very clearly mentioned that avoid sex with multiple sex partners or unknown sex partners, use of physical barriers during sexual intercourse, If a person is having a doubt, he or she, then they should consult the physician or the gynecologist. And if STDs are detected once, then they should be basically dealt with the pure and full course treatment without any lag. Okay. What are the different confirmatory tests for the detection and confirmation of STDs? Okay. So the very first is culture and microscopic observation with specific staining, okay, of causative agent. Every causative agent, whether it is a bacteria, whether it is a virus, whether it is a fungi or any microbe, and if STD is because of any one of them, they should be properly go for histopathological examination. Histopathological means, pathology means it is a condition of disease. Histopathological examination. Okay. So pathology means disease, okay, and tissues. Histo means tissues. So any tissue which is basically engrossed or which is affected by any kind of pathological condition, infection, so they should be studied. Logy means study. So they should be studied under microscope. So this is histopathological examination. Okay. So culture and microscopic observations with specific staining of causative agent should be there. Then detection of specific antigen antibody test. Okay. That is ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay test. This test basically helps to identify, to determine a specific antigen. Okay. A specific antigen means a specific foreign body. For example, this is foreign body A. It comes in contact with the foreign, it comes in contact with any part of the tissue, or it comes in contact with the antibody B. A is antigen and AB is antibody. AB is antibody and A is antigen. The moment antigen comes on the surface of antibody, the antibody basically present this combination of antigen and antibody to different types of natural killer cells or phagocytosis cells. Okay. So enzyme linked immunosorbent assay basically help us to confirm that if the antibodies against that particular infection are present in blood, then it becomes confirmed that okay, that antigen is present and that antigen is to be eliminated, it should be cured of. Okay. So enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, it is basically a diagnostic and invasive diagnostic procedure. Okay. Now after that we are having DNA hybridization. Okay. DNA hybridization, it basically helps to, confirm the presence of the gene or confirm the presence of the chromosome. Okay. Mean a chromosome or a part of the DNA which is not matching to the host. Okay. Especially in case of crime scenes, and in case of paternal issues, ELISA, DNA hybridization, DNA fingerprinting, polymerase chain reaction, all these methods are equipped. Okay. Polymerase chain reaction, the same method. In this method basically a foreign DNA or RNA of the pathogen is tested, okay, by culture techniques. The foreign pathogen or the disease causing agent, when it comes in the body, it produces certain types of proteins. Okay. So those proteins and the arrangement of amino acids in that protein can be basically evaluated for finding the causative agent. Okay. Whether it is bacteria, virus or anything else. Okay. So these are the processes of prevention and detection. Detection means the diagnosis of the STD, the confirmation of the STD. So the main methods you have to remember is ELISA, then culture and histopathological examination, which is the microscopic observation, then DNA observation or hybridization, and polymerase chain reaction. Okay. Now coming to the next, syphilis. Syphilis, the causative agent of syphilis is Treponema pallidum. Treponema pallidum, it is a bacteria. Okay, it is a bacterial disorder. Okay. Symptoms. This disease occurs in different stages: primary, secondary, tertiary. In the first stage, there is a hard, infectious and painless ulcer on the genitalia. Okay. On the external genitalia, there is a hard and painless ulcer that is known as what? Involving the swelling of lymph nodes. Okay. Local lymph nodes means inguinal lymph nodes. This hard swelling is known as what? Chancre. It is known as what? Chancre. Okay. So the most important symptom during the first stage is chancre, which is a painless hard ulcer. Okay. Which comes with the swelling of inguinal lymph nodes. Okay. Chancre is the initial lesion of syphilis, which is more or less like a distinct hard base ulcer. Distinct hard base ulcer or a sore. Okay. It looks like a sore. Okay. Means a hard base ulcer. In the second stage of syphilis, chancre gets healed and there is a skin lesion like rashes, hair loss, swollen joints means inflammation of joints, and flu-like illness occasionally. Okay. In the second stage, the chancre gets disappeared and comes up with skin lesions, different types of ulcers or ulcer spots on different body parts. Okay. Then rashes, hair loss, swollen joints and flu-like symptoms. In the third stage or the tertiary stage, chronic ulcers appear on the palate in the mouth, the hard palate or the soft palate, nose, lower leg. Okay. There can be paralysis, means neurological complications, brain damage, blindness, heart and aortic impairment. Heart and aortic impairment means decrease in cardiac output. And the last is the latent syphilis. There is no evidence of the disease. Latent syphilis means the pathogen is diagnosed, it is confirmed, but the person goes asymptomatic. No evidence means asymptomatic. Right? So, syphilis is caused by bacteria, Treponema pallidum. The symptoms are, the disease is basically divided into 4 stages. Stage 1, which comes up with the formation of chancre along with the swelling of inguinal lymph nodes. It is a painless ulcer and which is having a hard base. Okay. Chancre in the second stage, it got disappear and comes up with different types of skin lesions. Okay. Skin ulcers, rashes, hair loss and swollen joints. In the third stage or the tertiary stage, chronic ulcers on the palate, hard palate or soft palate, nose and lower leg. And there can be neurological complications like paralysis, brain damage, blindness, heart or aortic impairment, which will cause decrease in cardiac output. Okay. And the last is latent syphilis, in which the person goes unnoticed, asymptomatic, because the bacteria is in the latent phase. Okay. Mean quiescent phase. Now diagnosis. It is basically diagnosed by clinical symptoms, all the clinical symptoms mentioned over, microscopic examination, histopathological examination, culture is done and it is confirmed in the lab that Treponema pallidum is present, or antibody detection. Antibodies formed in the body against Treponema pallidum, if it is there, then chances of syphilis are there, or the ELISA test. Okay. specific antigen and antibody complementation test. Antigen antibody complement fixation. Antibody will only form when it will find the antigen. So antigen will be attached to the antibody. Incubation period is 10 to 90 days, and that is why we come across this latent syphilis, because the incubation period is 10 to 90 days. Okay, I mean it can have a window period as well. Treatment: antibiotics such as penicillin, major antibiotic, tetracycline, E agent or pathogen. I mean the agent of this disease is Treponema pallidum, and it is a bacteria, and bacteria, they basically produces either exotoxins or endotoxins. So antibiotics, penicillin or tetracycline, they basically break the cell wall, or they will open the aquaporins. These aquaporins are small protein molecules which basically help to regulate the flow of materials like water. When they will open, large amount of water will get inflow, or it will come out, and the bacteria will dehydrate or it will burst. After swelling, it will burst. So penicillin and tetracycline, they basically create the pores on the cell wall, and they will lead to the death of bacteria. So now in the next picture, there is a brief given regarding the different stages. Primary syphilis. Chancre lesion is the hallmark of primary syphilis. It may appear 10 to 90 days after exposure. Common sites include penis and labia in case of female. Other sites include anus, oral mucosa. Without treatment, chancre disappears in 2 to 8 weeks. Secondary syphilis: rash, pink to brown macules, okay, means spots, involves palms, soles in 50% of cases. Okay. Oral lesions called mucosa patches resembling snail tracks. Okay. So oral mucosa or oral mucous membrane mean inside your mouth, it is, or it could have some mucosal patches or mucosa patches which resemble the snail track. Snail track means the snail, when it moves, it basically make a track, okay, because of its foot, and that is why the mucosa is having a lesion. That lesion basically matches to the snail tracks. Symptomatic: early neurosyphilis, cranial nerve deficit or aseptic meningitis presentation, means neuro complications can be there, okay, which leads to meningitis or dysfunctioning of cranial nerve. Ocular syphilis manifestations include anterior or posterior uveitis. Uveitis means turning of the eyeball. So this eyeball goes farther, okay, the distance between these two eyeballs increases, okay. Then genito-inguinal rashes including tinea mimica or heaped wart lesions called condylomolata. Condylomolata means in the case of genital inguinal rashes, if their rashes are present on the genital area, then they are known as what? Condylomolata. Okay. Less common internal organ manifestations include acute hepatitis and nephrotic syndrome. I already told you complications in case of kidney failure, nephrotic syndrome, okay, or hepatitis. Latent syphilis. Latent syphilis refers to the asymptomatic infection after the period of primary and secondary syphilis, okay. After the period of primary and secondary syphilis, noticed or unnoticed has passed, okay, asymptomatic. Early latent and late latent. Early latent means, early latent refers to the asymptomatic patients with positive testing, test comes positive, in whom history can confirm exposure to or symptoms of primary and secondary syphilis. History, medical history can be taken to confirm that, okay. They have been given a single dose of penicillin in case of primary or secondary syphilis. Late latent patients have positive serology, means now the bacteria is present in different body secretions, whether it is blood, whether it is semen, okay. So now it is a complication and that's why multiple doses of penicillin are given. Now it is the tertiary syphilis, which basically involves the neurology, means the nerves and all, right? The tertiary syphilis comes with a very important ulcerating granuloma. Granuloma means the skin becomes degraded, okay, it becomes necrosed and it forms gumma. So gumma is a characteristic sign of late or tertiary syphilis, and chancre is a characteristic sign of primary syphilis, okay. Now coming to next, gonorrhea. It is caused by a bacteria again, Neisseria gonorrhea. Symptoms: the infection mainly occurs in the genital tubes, okay, means it involves mainly the external genitalia and produces a pus-like discharge along with pain, no pain in syphilis, around the genitalia, and burning sensation during urination. So it basically gives a sense of acute inflammation. And that too in syphilis, chronic. It may lead to arthritis, okay, inflammation of joints, eye infections in case of children or mothers affected by gonorrhea. Diagnosis: mostly diagnosed by clinical symptoms. Gram staining of discharge and culture. Gram staining method is done to find out the bacteria in the discharge or the culture collected from the sufferer, the patient. Incubation period is 2 to 5 days. Treatment: antibiotics like penicillin and ampicillin, okay. Chancroid. Chancroid, the causative agent is Haemophilus ducreyi. Haemophilus ducreyi is a causative agent of chancroid. It is also a bacterial disease. Symptoms: appearance of ulcer at the site of infection, mostly on external genitalia. So they are mainly involved external genitalia, except syphilis, which is having so many stages and it involves multiple organs. It is painful, it is also acute and bleeds easily, okay. So chancroid is basically an ulcer which is different from the chancre. So chancre and chancroid, don't confuse in that. Chancre is a clinical marker of syphilis, primary stage of syphilis, and chancroid, it's itself a disease caused by Haemophilus ducreyi, okay. Chancre is an ulcer which is solid, which is having hard base, and it is painless. But chancroid, it is an ulcer present on the external genitalia which is very painful and bleeds very easily. The nearby lymph nodes also get swelled up here, means swelling of lymph nodes is known as what? Lymphadenopathy. Lymphadenopathy, okay. Diagnosis: mostly clinical symptoms. Staining of discharge is done. Microscopical examination from the sore and cell culture. The sore means the ulcer which is formed. It is basically aspirated. The contents are taken out and then sent to the lab for further culture, okay, examination. Treatment: antibiotics like ceftriaxone, means it is a cephalosporin group of drug. Ceftriaxone, erythromycin, ciprofloxacin, and trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole. Trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole, basically they are sulfa drugs, and these sulfa drugs, they are basically used in skin infections, okay. So I hope, is this clear? Syphilis, gonorrhea, chancroid, okay. Now we will be doing the viral diseases and the other diseases in the next lecture. Till then, my dear students, keep on revising everything. If you are having any doubt, you can just post under the video. Till then, bye bye, take care everyone, stay safe, stay at home.